Backwoods Brigade Chapter 2. Not easy being green. Willie obviously lost consciousness while he was on the floor, which is probably for the best given the extent of the physical changes. The process was probably pretty painful. Looking down at his now green hands and arms, Willie's temper begins to flare.
Dude, you're looking a little green around the everything.
I'll say, Merle, you got some splaining to do. Where'd he go? If this don't wash off, you're gonna get myrtleized. Where's my cane? You two having a fly-catching contest?
Seeing the understandably confused look on Willie's face, Cliff turns and points to the blank wall where Merle was last seen.
Look, man, I know it makes absolutely no sense, but what we're saying is that your man went that way. It's crazy, dude, but that's what went down.
And he didn't leave a forwarding address, not unless you know where to find Avalon.
How can I say this so it gets through to an old-timer like you? Elvis has left the building.
About half an hour later, after repeated telling of the events that happened during Willie's brief lapse in consciousness, which brought them exactly 0% closer to Willie believing them.
All of this talking in circles is getting us nowhere. I just wish that there were some way to convince you we're not lying and that this is not a prank.
I think I've got one. I think that the answer to how we can convince this dude is just down the hall. Follow me.
Cliff leads the small group down the hallway to the men's room.
Ta-da! Here we are.
I know what you're thinking, and it's a good idea. I'll stay out here, though. Men's rooms always smell funny. I'll leave the door open, though, in case his reaction is unpleasant.
Willie approaches the mirror with some trepidation. His sense of dread deepens as he realizes that everything looks bigger than it did last week. Willie's jaw drops as he looks in the mirror. His mind begins grasping at straws. Is this an oversized set? It would be expensive, but not undoable. Only when he touches his oversized nose and the tips of his pointy ears and realizes that he can feel his hands touching them does his mind relent and admit the possibility that this is indeed real.
Well, I guess I was never in much danger of winning a beauty contest before. But why'd Merle have to go and make me so darned much uglier than I already was?
Green skin, pointy ears, sharp chin, and I'm even shorter than I already was.
You reckon I should avoid eating after midnight just in case?
I don't think that you'll have to worry about that. You look more like a goblin than a gremlin to me. Too much nose, not enough ears.
I'll say too much nose. At this rate, I'm liable to put Jimmy Durante and Jamie Farr out of business with this schnoz. Well, I suppose it ain't all bad. I did lose a little weight, and that eye color is awesome.
Suddenly, the die on top of the staff begins to glow. A voice comes out saying, "Sorry for the delay in getting back to you. I was AFC at the time of your transformation." That's right, folks. It's the voice of your friendly narrator. Don't worry, I'm not an attention hog. Please think of this as Alfred telling one of the tales that Master Grayson recounted of forming his new team.
You were a EF what? Look, I'm old. I don't speak computerese nor alphabet soup. So tell me in fogey.
I was away from my crystal, so I didn't immediately know that Master Merlin had left for Avalon.
Do you know why Merlin turned me into a goblin?
Yes, I do. Humans on Earth have been cut off from magic for so long that the supernatural channels that flow through the body have shriveled and clogged. Goblin was not Merlin's first choice, but after so many centuries of not having access to magic, it was what he had the spell components for. It was either that or a potentially volatile animal hybrid. He thought you would prefer the sure thing. So, where are you? And are you alone?
I'm at the library, and the two folks that are here with me was here when Merle made his exit. He told them that they was the start of my round table. So, I reckon you can trust him.
In that case, Shake your staff 3 times and then strike it on the ground. Make sure you're not in a confined space when you do this.
So, you just want me to go ooga booga ooga boom.
As the staff hits the ground, the D20 on top begins spinning wildly, finally landing on a 17. From it, a large holographic projection of the die forms nearby. Then it vanishes, leaving behind a 3-foot woman holding the staff and wearing robes.
My name is Master Mage Tilda Thimblefingers. Pleased to meet you. How may I help you on your quest?
We've got some friends who are missing in the woods. Do you suppose that you could help us find them? I'd be really grateful, little lady.
Sounds like a grand quest. Not my field of specialty, but I'm here to help you in any way I can.
Master Merlin has already assigned you a quest without informing me? Sounds typical. The first few days with your new abilities were supposed to be reserved for training. Getting used to a new body and learning how to work your magic should be more than enough to keep you busy for quite a while.
You're telling me. I'm starting to relate with that old frog song, "It's not easy being green, but there's more important things than me. Sides, if I'm in the middle of nowhere, what I look like ain't gonna matter much."
I thought that I should clarify. It was not Merle who assigned this quest. It was someone he referred to as the powers that be.
So why are you still at the library? Requests from the powers must always be acted on immediately.
Hello, Earthlings here. Clogged magic valves, remember? We know slightly less than nothing about how magic really works. As a matter of fact, an hour ago, we would have told you it didn't.
Before we all go wandering away, shouldn't we gather up Merlin's stuff? I mean, there could be something useful in it. Besides, if I am going to be calling in for a welfare check on him, because he didn't show up today, and the library crew finds his stuff here, I don't be part of a murder investigation.
I can see where that might concern you. Besides, seeing as how Merle was actually, Merlin might be things in there that you wouldn't want just anyone to get a hold of.
You mean you found the lost treasures of Merlin? Do you know how many people back home have been searching for that for centuries? I wish I could have gotten in on that quest.
So you are from Avalon like Merlin?
No, I am from one of the many worlds that only exist in Willie's imagination. Shaking the staff is like shaking the dice. When you strike the staff on the ground, it locks in the numbers and a character is created. Like me. Merlin set the staff up using the 5.2 SRD.
So you're saying this staff, for all practical purposes, is just random character generator and it created you out of my imagination?
Exactly right. Well, almost. You see, there's your intrinsic magic, which Merlin activated, and the magic of the staff and the chaos magic in the gem. Oh, and then there's the connection between your imagination and your personal interpretation of the SRD. Oh, I almost forgot. And then there's the multiplanar dispersion of matter and...
Okay, I think we've got it about as good as we're going to get it. Come on, let's grab Merlin's junk and get looking for Randy and Tiara. My carriage awaits.
Well, at least we're not going to have to walk. At least not until the woods get too deep. I mean, I can keep up with humans most of the time. It's just that they have such long strides. I have to take 2 steps for every one of theirs. Is it a closed carriage?
Have I got a surprise for you? You are going to love this.
Speaking of rides, do you think that I could get a ride back to the hospital? I know it's not far, but I am a little sore.
I'll do you one better, Benita. Since I'm going to be headed up to the boonies with the Bobbsey twins, here's the keys to my putt-putt. The helmet is on the seat. I got my get-about, so feel free to keep her a few days whilst you figure out an alternative form of transport.
There's the solution to your problem. At least, in the short term. You can wear your helmet, and I've got a pair of old work gloves in the jockey box of my outfit.
I thought about that, But I just don't think there's room in there for this zucchini I got stuck on the front of my noggin. Not to mention, Benita's already had one rollover today. I ain't letting her go riding without a helmet. I'll ride center seat. Our new friend Tilda here can ride shotgun. Anybody asks, well, you're taking a couple of kids to a costume party.
Now I see why my Jesse likes you so much. He says that you are always thinking of the needs of others. I see he's not wrong.
Tilda, you said that you're a master mage, right? If I was to give you a bag full of stuff, could you check to see if any of it was magical?
I don't have the identify spell prepared, but I can examine the items and get a general feel for the type of magic attached to them. Will that be good enough?
Given the alternative of poking around and hoping we don't blow ourselves up, or spending weeks trying to pull a rabbit out of a non-magic hat? Yeah, sounds pretty good.